I have parked perfectly every time.
No, you're up 3 too. I'm on the next
3
one.
years to 2 times?
I don't know whose idea it was to plant a tree right here and the same thing on the other side. When you're married, you can choose to be happy or you could choose to be right. I just choose to be happy at this point.
You choose to be right. Guys, we screw things up all the time, and we really screwed things up when we first got started RVing.
And here's the thing, when you have an RV and you screw things up, sometimes it can become a very expensive screw up. So in this video, we're going to talk about common things that we've screwed up, especially new RVers have screwed up, and what you should be looking for.
First one is, and a lot of beginner RVers mess this up, and veterans too sometimes if they get sloppy, is knowing how to plan with your RV in mind. So a lot of beginners, they'll hop on the road and get going to their first destination, but they haven't thought about the height of their RV, the length of their RV,
their weight of their RV.
Everything, yeah. So making sure that you have planned that out, you're using the proper apps, you're using the proper GPS so you can get to your destination safe.
And that just happened to us on this trip. So we're up in Copake, New York.
Copake, yeah.
And you know, we usually have 2 GPSs going at the same time. So we had a Rand McNally on the motorhome, which is set up with the appropriate height, width, and length. And then we had MJ on Google Maps. How many times was Google Maps telling us to go a different way?
A lot. And it would have taken us to something with like a 10-foot clearance.
Correct. So that is really important. We're 12.8. There's actually a toy hauler to our left of us that's probably 65 feet long right now. So yeah, it's very different than driving a regular car. Another thing people don't often think about, especially when you're new, is when you're going down the road, your RV gets really dirty, especially with bugs, and those bugs can be super destructive to your paint job. You want to keep cleaning materials on your RV for the inside, for the outside. Is always a reason why you want to do it. And one of them that we've been using for a couple of months now is a company, SideQuest USA. They make an excellent all-purpose cleaner. Is called Release.
This is IZZY approved.
It's amazing, guys. Like this stuff, I've had people say like, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because this right here can clean everything from interior, all kind of surfaces, paint, stainless steel, glass, roof seals I've cleaned with it, stairs,
the floors,
the car.
the bathroom, the counters.
If you have a golf cart that you take with you, it can clean that also. What's awesome about this is a 32-ounce bottle. This is going to be your most expensive one.
Right.
But if you get the Release Ultra, which is the concentrate on the 1-gallon bottle, 1 gallon will make 80 of these. So you can carry
good for life.
80 of these with 1 gallon. And we just talked about weight and how weight is an issue with RVs. So you carry 1 gallon, you make 80 of these. It works out to be $1.12 a bottle.
Right. If IZZY knows anything, guys, you know it's cleaning. And this really has been very exciting for IZZY and me too, but he's like over the top.
Yeah, it's been amazing. We do have a discount code, guys. Endless10 will get you 10% off of any purchase and free shipping, $75 and more, which is pretty awesome. We are really happy to have this company on board because they make an excellent product. They've been using the aeronautic industry for a long time. We'll put the link down below. Go to SideQuestUSA.com, put that discount code, go pick up some Release. Second one, guys, this one's really important, and we're at a campground that's better here because you can see you have a step here, but some of these dumps at campgrounds are not very good. So a couple of things. When you're going to dump, let me tell you something. If you have a full tank and you pull that, water is heavy and it's rushing, please have somebody secure the end of this, either with a weight, with a rock, with their hand with the glove, because once that starts shooting, if that comes off that end, it is going to be spraying you know what everywhere. One thing we like to use, I think MJ ordered this on Amazon, this is just a weight. They look like 2 bells and it's adjustable. They sell all different ones, but all we do is we put this on here and it kind of keeps the end of that hose into the dump.
Next one, newbies or veterans, don't overpack. Hashtag stuff is very tempting to load up your RV, especially when I've gotten better, especially when you're new and you're getting all the dishes and the supplies and like just tons of things. And a lot of new people don't even realize that there is a carrying capacity that they have to stay within and just go nuts.
Yeah, for some people, if you have a big Class A diesel or super per seat, you may never reach that carrying capacity. But for most, being that trailers are the most popular, there's going to be a carrying capacity. It's very important for the structural integrity of that RV. Also, when you're towing, it could be a danger if you're overloaded. So make sure to keep that in mind. The best way to do that is to go to some kind of cat scale. That's the easiest way to do it. Make sure you're weighed when you're loaded as you would travel.
Big one for new people and other people that have been doing it for a while, and we just experienced this. When you park in your spot, make sure that you leave enough room on either side for your slides to open. A lot of newbies don't think of that. They pop open those slides and bam, smack into a tree.
You know what's even worse? You have a towable or something, you set up, you level, you do everything. You try to open your slides and you're like, oh crap, I can't, and now you gotta do everything all
Undo
over
everything. For example, here, we'll show you.
This is also a note to campground designers. We're in a pull-through site here. I don't know whose idea it was to plant the tree right here and the same thing on the other side, but do you see the issue? So we kind of had to make sure we were positioned correctly, because just another 10 feet forward, we can't open our slide. The problem is on our driver's side, we're so far away from the sewer hose. So it was not really planned out very well. But again, whenever you go into an RV site, either have a person outside spotting, or if you're alone, kind of look, put the slides out a little bit, make sure you have enough clearance.
The next one is a really big one that beginners wish they knew, newbies, and sometimes, again, veterans, you can always use a good reminder. We pulled in yesterday. This is another one we just experienced, and what is it? Izzy's going to tell you about it.
You needed extensions. Now, we've talked about this on other videos. One thing before, I just told you, the trees, right? Whoever planted this decided to plant. So if you look over here, if we moved too far up one way, we can't open our driver's side. If we move back, we can't open our passenger side. So where we're positioned, another bad design. Look where the sewer inlet is, and look where our dump is, and look how much sewer hose we have. So if we had a single sewer hose, it wouldn't work.
It would have been SOL.
Yeah, we carry 2 sewer hoses. Don't use them often, right? We usually only use one, but here we go. We're using a second one. Also, you can see our power cord. Now, we're fortunate. We have a lot of power cord, but for some, having an extension might not be a bad idea. And also our hose. We do carry probably about 100 feet of hose. That's not that big of a deal, but we've been to places where we had to extend the hose a very long distance.
Next one can be really messy if you don't pay attention to this, and sometimes you're camping and it can kind of slip your mind, is you want to make sure that you are always checking where your tank levels are, your gray and your your gray and your black, because God forbid you're not checking and they creep up, and you need to dump and you don't know, and you're gonna have some really messy problems.
Now, I'll say on the flip side, you also want to check to make sure that they're, especially the black, the appropriate level to dump. So what I mean is that you shouldn't be dumping, you're at 1/3. Really, you should be dumping full is optimal.
Right.
2/3 kind of a minimum. And the reason why is you always want to have a lot of water in there. And then after you dump, you want to check your tank levels, because you want at least like 1/3 in there at all times. And some people might say that doesn't make sense, but the more water that's in there, the better, the healthier it is for that black water tank.
And since we're directing this a lot towards newbies and beginners, things you wish you knew, make sure that when you see those tank levels, just keep in mind they're not always 100% accurate. So you could have a piece of toilet paper stuck on a sensor and it can read differently, or if you're not level, it could read off a little bit. So just keep those things in mind also. Next one, really important. If something goes wrong on your RV, that is a loud barking dog. Oh my God.
It was quiet here. I don't think in the next 2 hours it's going to be quiet.
It's Fridays and everybody's coming in. So if something goes wrong, don't always assume it's the end of the world or it's something huge. It could be something small.
Yeah, you always want to try to troubleshoot the most obvious and easiest thing possible, such as fuses and breakers. I can't even say how many times something has gone wrong and it's like, oh, the fuse is out. How simple.
Right.
And always try to carry items with you. We just had a little bit of an issue, not a big issue, but something that I saw that I was able to resolve this morning in 10 minutes, because guess what? I carry black silicone with me.
Right.
And if I didn't have that, we're supposed to get heavy rain, maybe it had been an issue, but now I know it's not an issue.
The next thing we're going to show you guys has to be your best friend. friend. We see people, you can tell when beginners are parking.
Oh, they want to kill each other.
Well, because I remember when we first started, and it's just a horrible experience. And people fight all the time when they're back. Put in the comments below, do you fight with your partner when you're backing in?
We like watching it now.
I know, we kind of grab the popcorn. No. I mean, we've offered to help people sometimes too. I mean, but we just kind of brings us back to when we first started. These are your best friend, okay? People, if you're backing in without fighting, you're doing something right. This way you're able to communicate. You can use your cell phone too if you have a good signal. We actually have a really good system down now.
Yeah.
We do it quickly unless it's a tough spot to get in.
Well, at our home, that was nice, sorry. At our home, we have a very tight parking spot to get in, and it's difficult to get into both of us if there's one person there. You can, but it's difficult.
Why don't you tell them who the champ is of parking at home?
Well, it's actually 3 and 2 now with me going to park on the way back. So we have this whole system, we call it the one-shot wonder. And we're able to park one reversing into the drive. It's a pretty good accomplishment. And she's up 3-2, but I'm up to bat next.
Guys, we're doing this right in front of you. Where did 3 come from? I have parked you perfectly every time.
No, you're up 3-2. I'm on the next
3
one.
years to 2 times?
Oh, God.
Crazy. Anyway, okay, so let's get back
to
to
life. Here's one thing. You can put this in the comments below for the husbands out there. When you're married, you can choose to be happy, or you can choose to be right. I just choose to be happy at this point.
You choose to be right.
Getting back to the radios. We got off topic a little bit. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these unless you want to. They don't have to reach 68 miles. You only have to reach like 10 feet, really. These are pretty inexpensive. We got ones that are a little bit better. These are Midlands, but I think they're like 60 bucks. They have the NOAA radio in them, which is really nice to tell you if there's any weather alerts. These items, as well as the other ones we mentioned in this video, we'll put our links down below.
So the next one is RV specific, but beginners, a lot of you may not have known when you first started what a battery disconnect was. So we use that all the time, but one important thing about a battery disconnect to know is that if you turn that switch, that doesn't necessarily mean there's still not a drain on your batteries.
Yeah, I'm just said it is RV specific, and the reason why we know this is because when we first got our motorhome, there is a specific battery disconnect, and you would shut it off. There's still a parasitic drain, and if we weren't plugged in, within a day or two, we'd have dead batteries. We've since added a true full house battery disconnect where if we shut it off, there's no power, it's completely dead. But some RVs come like that from the factory, some don't. Just make sure you know what your RV has.
So we have seen more than one awning on occasion get ripped off.
And that sucks.
Yeah, it was at NASCAR. Remember that storm at NASCAR? So this last one for you beginners, newbies, or veterans, a lot of people forget to bring their awning in if they're expecting storms or a lot of wind. So we are actually about an hour or so away from a storm that's moving in. We approach it a little bit differently, but if you have an awning, you need to get that in. We have something that we use to kind of avoid any issues.
Yeah, now our RV does have a wind sensor in it, but those don't always work. So what we have is it's a company called Save On, and they sent this to us. We've been using it now for over a year. It's pretty awesome. It's simple. You just hook it up to your awning, and what it does, it doesn't allow the awning to go up or to go down. So if you get wind, it kind of keeps it in place, and it's rated to 25 miles an hour. So if you're getting, hurricane winds, it's probably not a good idea to have. If you know bad storm is coming, hold that in. But something like this, at least if you know it's going to be pretty calm weather, maybe an occasional wind gust, something like this will really help you out.
In the comments below, guys, let us know, as a beginner, did you learn anything? And as a veteran, did you make any of these mistakes in your past? I know we did.
Or did you learn something as a veteran? Because we learn things every day. The time. To the left of us, if you like videos like this, we're going to put our RV newbie playlist. We'll put our RV DIY playlist. And for myself and MJ, it's a journey of a lifetime, and we'll see you on the road.